Hello, my friends. Today I'm going to be recapping the latest episode of All Stars 10, Stagecooch. I'm going to need to take a deep breath before I get into this one. The bottom four queens walk back into the workroom with a plan. They are not going to give their MVQ points to Daya or Ginger. I mean, why would they? They're currently in the lead. As this was a team challenge, it's easy to give your point to your teammate. That's what I would do. Nobody can be offended by that choice. So Cynthia naturally gives her point to Alyssa. Denali gives her point to Acid. Acid considers giving her point to Cynthia, but ultimately gives it to Denali. Alyssa says she has two queens in mind, Denali and Cynthia, but thankfully gives it to Cynthia. I mean, can you imagine the drama? Ginger and Daya have a kiki. They say that they don't think the girls will be this congenial moving forward and that they're going to have to get a little selfish. So it's a new week in the workroom, and Ginger says there's a huge target on her back. When it gets to this point, production starts to intervene. This is so they can push the person that they want to make the merge. And as they know the girls aren't going to give Ginger any more points, what do? They put her in the top. It's the only way to ensure it happens. That's all I'm going to say about that part for now. So Rue enters the workroom and announces that for this week's mini challenge, the queens will be honouring the 30th anniversary of cult classic film Clueless. They will need to partake in a Cher Horowitz photo shoot. Whoever's photo is totally buggin' wins. In my opinion, Denali looked the most puss, and sure enough, she ended up winning, earning herself a cash prize of $1,000. So for this week's Maxi Challenge, the queens will be performing in a new hoedown throwdown for the new Drag Race festival, Stagecooch. In two groups, they will be introducing country bangers, Key Your Car, and Trailer Hitch. The queens will need to write and record their own verses with Orville Peck and composer David Steinberg. They will also need to choreograph their own routines themselves. So a lot of discourse online that I'm seeing is that a country challenge was created just for Ginger Minj. And if you listen to the Sibling Rivalry podcast with Bob and Naomi Smalls, Bob actually said this week they should have just done a Hocus Pocus challenge or a Glamour Toad challenge. This is a winner calling this behaviour out from production. This is a huge Drag Race alum calling it out. And again, this is not Ginger's fault. She didn't ask for this challenge. Production are just making it very obvious who they want to advance. And so my issues rest with them. I feel really bad for the amount of hate that Ginger has been getting since the purple bracket started. Remember, it's not her fault, but I'll touch on this again later. So all the girls want the song Trailer Hitch, which irritates Alyssa because English is not her first language and she feels she would do better with that song than Key Your Car. So Ginger relents and lets her have the song. There is also a huge Denali edit this episode because Denali continues to mention that writing music is very much her thing. And say it with me, the edit was there. As the queens record their vocals, I was cracking up at Alyssa's fake country accent. I'm really glad Acid suggested she stick with her original voice, not that it meant much at the end. Speaking of Acid, on Runway Day, she says to her teammates that they should pool their MVQ points together so they can ensure one of them makes the merge. And that's how I knew that Acid knew what was up. The girls aren't stupid. I also think that Daya was very clever aligning herself with Ginger, seeing and witnessing production's favoritism. So on the main stage this evening, we have RuPaul in a classic gold gown, we have Michelle Visage, the hilarious Ross Matthews, and extra special guest judge Jamal Sims. I wouldn't call Jamal Sims extra special only because he is kind of a rotating judge at this point with like T.S. Madison and LaRoche, but whatever. So first up, we have the Mudflaps performing To Key Your Car. This song was pretty catchy. I can't get "Screw you, you cheeky mother ducker" out of my head. I thought they all did well, but I was especially proud of Cynthia. She gave it her all. She looked amazing. She had great vocals. She's been killing it so far, despite not making the top two either week. We then had the Whiskey Chicks performing to Trailer Hitch, and oh my god, Denali had the absolute best verse and choreography across both teams. I had been waiting for a Denali performance moment, and it did not disappoint. I have to ask though, why did the other team get to be part of Trailer Hitch towards the end? That didn't really seem very fair. Category is Night of a Thousand Mileies, and I gave my top two to Diabetti. This is just so flawless, it fits her so well, it looks great on her tall frame, it's such a good look for her to adapt. So it's time for the judges' critiques, and first up we have Acid Betty. Her outfit in the challenge and the runway were received very well. She did a great job with the choreography too, it was a really good night for Acid. Alyssa is told that she should have rapped her verse instead of sung it, and I was like, I don't know if rapping is very country, but hey, what do I know? Her outfit looked good though. Denali is told by Ross that she had the best lyrics and choreography, and yes, she did. Rue even tells her she has star quality. And I'm thinking, okay, it's going well. What could go wrong from here? They love Cynthia's voice and the way that her lyrics told a story. I actually thought that Cynthia's runway look would have really suited Acid Betty, but let me know what you guys think. Daya is told she ate the stage up, and Michelle mentions that she's sort of broken away from Crystal Method's shadow. I have never once thought that Daya Betty was anything like Crystal Method, even on season 14. Ginger is complimented on her sultry yet witty performance. She is very charismatic on stage, we cannot deny that, but during the judges' deliberations, they kept going on and on about how hot and sexy she was. Ross even said that he wanted a orgy on stage with her. I mean, what the hell? Like, she was good, but she wasn't that gag-worthy. Back on the main stage, the top two are Denali and Ginger Minj. Denali, absolutely agree. I would have swapped Ginger for Cynthia, or even Acid, or even Diabetes. But I wasn't surprised because I did know spoilers preseason. The pair lip synced to See You Again by Miley Cyrus. And let's all say it together. Denali ate that up. She left no crumbs, she devoured, it was a slaughter. It wasn't even a much of a muchness. Surely Ginger Minj knows herself that Denali won that. And yes, I've seen arguments online saying Denali did too much. This is a club song, okay? This is the kind of moves you're supposed to be doing. And yet the win goes to Ginger, earning her 3 more points and bringing her total up to 6. I've said this so many times in my videos before, you can get to the same outcome without so much production interference. Ginger could still make the merge and Denali still could have won the lip sync. Let Ginger's talent speak for itself because she has it in spades. This blatant riggery does nobody any favours. Not the queens, not the fans, and certainly not Ginger herself. Ginger suffers the most because she gets the most hate. She's the one that's told she didn't deserve anything. And it takes all the joy out of a season when production tries to shove something down our throats and be really obvious about it, when they don't need to be. Crediting Drag Race polls here, but we now have Ginger on 6 points, we have Denali on 3, Daya on 2, and the rest on 1. Next week is the last episode of the Purple Bracket, thank God. Sadly, I have to say that, because it is the most rigged thus far. The Queens will be starring in The Bachelor Part 2, another comedy challenge, and then we're officially in the merge. I will be making a Purple Bracket chat video, so stay tuned for that. But guys, let me know what you thought of this week's episode. The judging, the outcomes, the lip sync. Give me all the tea, guys, and I'll be back very soon with another video.